Hey there. How you doing? On our play for this week, the bomb. What bomb dropped? No, 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 no. The bomb that dropped in the Microsoft Activision Blizzard case. We'll talk about that because it's crazy. Mech fans rejoice from software drops big gameplay trailer for Armored Core 6 with a surprise release date. PS5 selling much better than anyone could possibly imagine. It's crazy. And we've played Jedi Survivor. Is it the best Star Wars game to date? Should you pick it up or should you wait? All these answers and more on Season 7, Episode 17 of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. I got a little text message, but it was just my ring outside telling me that there was a person in the front. Anyways, you know what it is. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka Ravens. Rejoice. We are about to jump into our cores, and it's going to be glorious. I am joined by
Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
If you see me ever fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear,
help the bear.
And who is that?
Jordan, aka JXPod, coming live from the swamps, the dredges of Microsoft at the moment.
Hey man, y'all about to be live next week, man. It's all good.
We
the true test
shall see.
Test of Game Pass.
The one thing about games and playing games that it's always going to have a sense of humor because sometimes you just really need it to get by.
Oh yeah.
And then last up but not least up.
Hey everyone, it's me, Avery. Once again, we're recording this during my prime VCT time, so Sentinels fighting. Go Sentinels.
Love it. I love it. Look at that enthusiasm. Do you think they're going to win?
Do you want me to be honest? Everyone, this is Avery Williams, the VCT corner. Sentinels dropped 10s to pick up Marv, so right now they're in a really interesting situation where they're 5 weeks into a 9-week league, and they have only 2 wins. They've lost 3 times. They've got a brand new player, and now they're playing C9, who I thought was going to be the worst team in the league, but is now the second best team in the league at 4-1. So it's literally anyone's game. Marv is the best controller player in the world. He could easily be the X factor to beat Cloud9. That being said, I love Zekin, but he's not a god tier jet, and that's him going up against Leaf, and that might be just a huge duelist gift right there. That's either here or there. That was my VCT corner.
Oh man.
Well, I hope your team wins because wins are good all around. You gotta love it. All right,
are good.
Wins are good. Yes. Said by Jesus. Did you not read that? All right. This is Press X Star Gamers Digest. Press X Star Gamers Digest is a video podcast that condenses the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. And we hope you're hungry. That's what it is. I didn't do it this time. We are live on YouTube every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello, you, and YouTube. Don't forget you can support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are listening, we'd greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or the podcast services you are tuned in on. If you'd like to join our conversation, you can by joining our Discord at pressx2.com/Discord. All right. I think I nailed all the bits that we needed to nail before we start getting into these gaming news. So, Avery, what's happening in the wide world of gaming?
Our first big story is essentially the biggest story of the week. This is from The Verge. This is from Tom Warren. Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition blocked by UK regulators. Microsoft's $68.7 billion deal hits a major hurdle over cloud concerns. So, for the last several weeks, all analysts and financial people and corporate people have been saying, yeah, this deal's going through. Microsoft has done all the work they need to do to appease regulators in various countries. They've made a bunch of deals with various cloud computing firms. They've also had it passed in, let's say, 60 to 75% of the world markets as a whole. However, the 2 biggest that they haven't been able to, that things have been slow on are the US's FTC, who I believe has already
Sued the block.
moved the block with major concerns.
Sued the block.
So yeah, and then the CMA, which is a part of the sort of UK regulatory boards. We all, after the fight back and forth over Call of Duty, and pretty much the CMA was like, that's not a big concern. That's not really a big concern.
The console side.
Turns out their big concern was cloud gaming. And the how would I say this? The, I guess, platform they're playing upon is that, hey, Xbox is the biggest name in cloud computing with xCloud. The Azure. The Azure service, yes, but for the most part, it's xCloud. And then, because that's what they're marketing as a part of their services, because everyone, even PlayStation, uses Azure services. But, and they're like in this burgeoning market with no real competition, and they're the person who owns 70% of the market share, having the $69 billion amount of Activision on top of their own gaming offerings within the bundle of Game Pass is a no-go to them. Various cloud computing services have come out and said that they don't really give a shit about this in regards to this blocking. Activision and Microsoft have come out and said they are going to fight this blocking, and we'll see from there. Yeah, that's the general gist of everything that's going on.
Yeah, man, this is
they're looking forward.
It's looking what?
They're looking forward towards where the industry will be going. I mean, eventually, I know you guys used to talk about cloud gaming and streaming, and the technology wasn't there when y'all used to have these debates on the podcast. What, 3-4 years ago? But at some point, it will be a viable thing, and them owning however much of the market. I think Avery said 70% at this point in time.
Yeah.
How much would this solidify their dominance in the area to basically quell any upstarts?
Yeah, it's to Sean's point, like at least in terms of the calculus that the CMA was using, they do believe their cloud market is still fairly nascent. And one thing that was clear once people started to digest the ruling of the CMA was Microsoft's deals were like 100% of revenue for each one of these purchases. Now, in the past, Sony does have some activity in the cloud space. I think their contract with Azure had expired, and they moved to a different cloud platform. But yeah, I think the CMA had clearly said that because this market is so novel, you having a IP as large as Call of Duty on your subscription service that is accessible via cloud does put you in a more advantageous position compared to competition either known or unknown, and which is kind of the irrational portion of it, like the unknown competition, which is what they kind of leveraged on. It's not so much there is a viable competitor to Xbox right now, but they're saying that this type of deal will impede the possibility for such competitor. In terms of the deal and its viability, I'm at like 45-55 right now. But if the EU's ruling, which is incoming, which is European Commission, because in the past the CMA was kind of a sub of the European Commission, but then Brexit occurred, to which the CMA handles all things UK. If the European Commission comes in and blocks it, I think this deal is pretty much dead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's going to be May 22nd. Excuse me.
Yeah. Microsoft was in the midst of being already celebrating, putting ads all over the UK, and hey, we're gonna have this done by July and have all this stuff through the next year. Odds are, they are going to be spending, if they are serious about this appeal, they're going to be spending the next year more litigating this, which is another big expense of money. I've talked about this in the past, that this deal, if this does not go through, heads are going to roll at Microsoft, because you don't don't spend that amount of money and then not succeed and not have some like
It's
pushback
it's
from
a
up
three.
high.
If the deal does fail, it does constitute a $3 billion breakup fee that Microsoft would have to foot.
Because I'm of the mindset that Phil Spencer is really trying to move into that corporate place of eventually leading Microsoft as a whole, this is probably not a good look in terms of part of his resume. So I think he and the rest of the Xbox team are going to be gung-ho about figuring out how to get this through. I'm going to keep consistent on my mindset that like this deal should not go through. It's like and that while there is the argument of like regulatory bodies haven't picked the right avenue to attack this deal for, I'm of the mindset that a deal of this size shouldn't go through regardless anyway. So whatever needs to happen, needs to happen. And if whatever happens, it needs to be consistent going forward with this ruling going forward, if that makes sense.
Can I speak to the ontology of the deal right quick in terms of its importance to Microsoft? I think the deal was I think the reason why they wanted this to happen was because of how short Halo Infinite was in terms of revenues. In order for Game Pass to succeed, or for it to be quote unquote sustainable, it needs to have a consistent cash flow. And Halo wasn't going to do that. Halo is not doing that. So without this deal, and yes, that is correct. I mean, it is their fault. You know, like in terms of the stewardship of Halo, I mean, Forza Horizon, you know, no pun intended, is running laps around it in terms of like a continued investment compared to it.
Right.
So this deal was to have some type of supplemental revenue stream for expanding Game Pass going forward. You know, feeding the beast, quote unquote.
One of my big problems with subscription services as a whole is that they beyond what I believe is a altering of the habits of the subscribers, which I believe is a bad thing, but I'm not going to litigate that. They also require a lot of content and a furnace to throw cash in to burn that content. Like they need a constant stream of content, of fuel. And while Microsoft has been consistent about the success of Game Pass as a product without being transparent of what that success actually translates to, moves like this really indicate to them that they need more and more content to fuel. And to Jordan's point about Halo being unable to generate that, I believe the exact amount was like Halo generated in its entirety like $10 billion, while Call of Duty in its entirety has generated like $38 billion in its lifetime. And like Halo, I think, is a longer lived has been.
But also Call of Duty is available on many platforms too.
Yes.
Conglomerate.
Yeah.
Which is a big thing. Which is one of those things where like, there's an addendum to this story. This is just word from this is from Tom Ivan, VGC. Activision CEO expects accelerated UK appeals process after irrational Microsoft deal block. So yeah, the Activision people have been very much in the camp of fuck everyone who's blocked this. I believe there's a PR message that got sent out from Activision to pretty much every journalist saying that like, yo, we were prepared to just say fuck to UK and just move out of there.
Which is very invasive. Like the process is for them to make like I talked about this in the chat a few times, like them a crazy subsidiary to which is like a status quo in the UK and everything else around it. But yeah, no, it's they're acting like fools to Avery's point. Yeah, crazy.
It's a wild thing because it's like they're not even setting threats to the people; they're setting threats to other people who are just going to tell the people after the fact. So it's like it's a weird thing. But but Activision particularly, especially if I'm following the logic of their PR lead, this seems very much in lockstep with how they sort of operate. So it's neither here or there. They're going to keep fighting this because one of the things happened when this got blocked. Activision lost 10% of their market value on the stock exchange. So like they are very much in the mindset of we cannot afford to like have put the foot around with this.
because like if it passes, because like Microsoft's buying Activision like for 30% more of their value stock price, so it's like 100, like it's like 80 or something. It's 70 now, but if it were to go through, the stock prices would valuate to $100. Like that's their incentive for being so being so ravenous.
I just hate to see all the tribalism, console tribalism online. Where people, you know, who are Xbox fans want this to go through, but this is only going to benefit you in the short term.
Yeah.
You should be very wary when two of the biggest players in the industry space want to merge. They're spending $70 billion. What other company, not including video games, has ever merged or bought out a company for that amount?
Don, look into my eyes.
Get out of here.
I don't care. I went to my comment.
Like what?
I will say that, like,
I get what you're saying, John.
I think even if Microsoft can't buy Activision, this
Money hatting
definitely leaves the door open for like another company to come and try to buy Activision. Like Bobby Kotick has made it very clear that he wants to sell Activision. He wants to be done with this.
Yeah.
So
Quit.
whoever comes,
and I'm of the mindset that if another company wants to buy Activision, I let them buy Activision. If they have the $70 billion to buy Activision, that's fine. That company shouldn't be Microsoft. It shouldn't be the number. It shouldn't be like the number 3 company buying the number 4 company.
I mean, well, like so Tencent then? Because Tencent's like one. Like Tencent's like top 2.
I'd rather them not either.
Or Embracer Group. I mean, Embracer Group's the other one.
Well,
which is equally.
Yeah. I'm of the mind. Like I said, it shouldn't. Not how I say this. My big thing with this corporate consolidation is that Activision has proven themselves over the last couple of years to be not worthy of like the stewardship of the content that they're putting out beyond the financial growth that they've been able to establish. So that if this goes bad and that company has to fold and that content has to spread to the ether and be broken up, that's my best case scenario for this.
Okay.
I can agree.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
Our next story is from Kotaku.com. This is from Alyssa, I want to say Mercante. Your first look at Armored Core 6 in action, a Mech game by Elden Ring devs. So we got earlier in the week, we got a report from Video Game Insider about a release date for we got a release date for Armored Core, and then a couple days later we got the full trailer and we got
a teaser first. We didn't get the release date until this trailer.
Okay, let me finish my drop. We got the full trailer. We got the full trailer of a game, and then we got a release date sort of after the fact. And so they've shown off the game. It is very much in line with, I guess, what a classic Armored Core game looks like. Very fast paced, very heavy. The big thing they showed off in the trailer is that there is some minor transformation sort of a thing, and minor transformation stuff, and like heavy Armored Core customization. How would I say this? This looks cool, and
good.
I am excited for the Armored Core fans to be jumping into this. I'm still on the fence as a From Software fan if I'm going to play this.
Okay, so as the resident Armored Core fan who's been screaming from the skyscraper since Lord knows how long, this trailer
how long have
was
you been asking for Armored Core?
Dude, I don't even like, because at one point it was honestly a joke, and like it only became like less of a joke, I think, like last year when the screenshots of it leaked, and I was just like, oh wait, they're actually gonna do this? Like, really? But like it was a great time watching this trailer, because there's just so much like little things that I was picking out, just like, oh, this is coming back. Oh, this is coming back. Like Overboost is coming back. Yeah, I don't know what Overboost is. Overboost is like a way of charging your thrusters to like fly a little faster.
We don't care.
But like, like, but yeah, like all those little things that are dropping in this trailer, just like, oh my god, like this is going to be like the Armored Core game that a lot of people wanted. So it was really great to see that. Like there was a couple of new things that was a part of this trailer. There is it seems to be they're taking their philosophy on different melee weapons from like their Souls based
Mhm.
games, and they're putting this into Armor Core, which is cool because Armor Core definitely needed that. So like you have like an energy whip kind of thing. You have like a
That
double
attack looks
sided like
fucking sick.
like bro. I can't I just can't wait. So they're just throwing a bunch of stuff in, and then there's one point where the mech like
Mhm.
flew and used his feet as an attack. Like that's never been in Armor Core. Like that's just a new thing. Like I don't. That's
I
dope. I can't wait to play
feel
with
like
that.
I've played an Armor Core before, maybe a Mech Warrior, whatever's on PS1.
Yeah. And the one thing that like I'm over the moon by this, but I'm trying to also be um very cautious. Not cautious. I'm trying to stay grounded
Mhm.
because Armor Core, for as much as I love it, my critiques was very much so the mission structure and just like because a lot of it is just like go fight the thing, you shoot these things, there's a boss at the end, you fight the boss, and you just keep it moving. So the hope is that that gets turned on its head because like we're dealing with devs that have put years of development making Souls based games. So we see in this trailer there's a couple of like boss scenes and like the bosses look super huge. Like there's one boss that shoots like 80,000 missiles at you and you have to dodge them all. That's one thing I love about Armor Core is like the dodging and stuff. So great. Um Overall, of course, as you can see, I am excited for this game. It comes out August 25th, I believe. So that's going to be my August game, and I said in the Discord, just I'm going to try my best, but it's going to be real hard for me to be objective on this game, guys. So you just going to have to
Expect to not
deal with that.
hear from DJ for quite a while. He's gonna be mainlining this game with an IV drip of food.
Bro. Oh, one last thing before we can jump. They talked so two things. There's gonna be PvP online in this, which is they've done that in I think from Armor Core 4, 4 and 5. So that's cool. I'm gonna be on that. The question is this going to usurp my time spent in Gundam Battle Operations 2? The answer is probably. Like probably, okay? Like yeah, this is yeah. Like this is especially with the online, like if the online works and
But
it's fun.
but it's not a live service.
No, it's not, but it's online. Like, it doesn't need to be a live server. It's just online. Avery, Avery. I don't need much. I don't need much, okay? If this game works, if there is whatever that net code is, the
Yeah.
Street Fighter net code, whatever. Like if the net code's good, like
If the net
Well, I
code is
mean,
good.
wasn't
if the net code's good.
DJ, have
Elden
you ever
Rings?
played any of the Souls games online?
Well, yeah, I tried Elden Ring. That didn't go well at all.
How is
I
the
mean the
net code in
PvP,
Elden
the
Ring?
PvP set parts of those games. Have you played any of those online?
Of
Elden Ring.
Oh
Of
no,
any of the
I
Souls
played
games?
Elden Ring online. I played not
No, the
any other
PvP,
Soul game.
the PvP stuff. Not
Yeah.
playing with okay. So that's how it's going. Unless they're dramatically changing this, and we'll probably see this later. That's how I'm assuming they're going to play it. And so when I'm saying I don't think you're going to do that, is because Gundam Battle on Operations is going to be a live service game. It's going to be constantly updated and things like that.
Mhm.
This is a game where after the first year into the next, maybe the first DLC, if it's released them, that's all you're going to get. So you saying that this is the only game you're going to be playing going forward makes absolutely no sense to me.
Well, I'm saying, will it usurp my time in Gundam? Because I'm also gonna play Spider-Man. I'm gonna be playing like the
Booterman.
Tears of the King. Yeah, I'll be playing other games, but I'm just talking about that like that time that I spend in Gundam. Is this gonna do something to that? Yeah, it just might. It just might.
Gundam said you'll be back, ho. They always come back.
But the last thing I want to say about this, what I thought was very interesting, is that they were explaining how the loop kind of works when you are encountering enemies. And they said that like you use a weapon to stun, then you boost in and you go for a melee attack. And like that's the same formula as Gundam. So it was really interesting to like think that to listen to that and think like, I wonder if like a couple of devs actually do play Gundam Battle Operations too. And they just like, oh, this is actually a cool like system, and they're just kind of using that for this. Because normal Armor Core, like that wasn't really the actual flow. So
Mhm.
we'll see. We'll see a lot sooner than I had imagined before last week. So yeah, cool. All right, what's next?
Okay, so moving on from that, we have a story from Sissy Jing from Kotaku.com. Homophobes are review bombing Horizon Forbidden West DLC.
Yikes.
So this is a
Why was it put
consistent
after
thing.
Armor Core? I don't understand.
Well, I'm sorry, DJ. I didn't think you'd be going on for 20 minutes talking about Armor Core. You also saw
You
the
have to
script.
adapt, Avery. You
You
changed
also,
this time we go.
you also saw the script in advance. So you could have said, maybe I shouldn't put this on after this. I don't know.
Hey, real quick, I'll be honest. I definitely thought this was the thing about like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a Horizon 3. Like we already knew there's gonna be a Horizon 3. I literally thought this was that. I did not see the last bit of this. Yeah. Okay, continue.
Cool beans. So, here is going to be minor spoilers for Horizon Forbidden West DLC, Burning Shores. So, if you're listening this live, maybe come back in a couple minutes. If you're listening to this, after the fact, maybe come back. Maybe fast forward a couple of minutes. Okay. So, big reveal is that the character of Aloy ends this game with ostensibly a girlfriend named Seika. A big part of this game is you playing with the Sega character, and the two of them have an sort of the rapport back and forth that sort of makes Aloy come out of her shell as a human being, not just a Sarah Connor clone woman. And that was me making a joke. I don't actually believe I think she's a real character, whatever. But no, yeah, and the game ends with that choice. This was spoiled like the day before this DLC went out. And it was essentially used as a talking point that got certain parts of the Xbox community trending because they were making very, very, very bad faith arguments about Xbox versus PlayStation, which I don't want to go into. I don't even want to litigate that, but it wasn't. It was a lot of fanboy bullshit. But because of this homophobia, essentially all reviews for this DLC are getting bad scores with text as in bad because gay, or to be more conceited. I hate when games were woke and things like that when I'm actually playing it. So
That's so annoying.
yeah, this is addendum to this is from BGC. Andy Robinson. Metacritic pledges stricter moderation after abusive Horizon Forbidden West review bombing. So Metacritic, after seeing this, has been like, okay, we have to deal with essentially our user review section and try to make it harder for people to review bomb games that haven't come out yet just because of content that they don't agree with, that doesn't actually even impact the quality of the game itself. How that is going to be implemented going forward, I don't know. Here's hoping it helps more games be more diverse and open without having to suffer unnecessary blemishes to their actual quality.
Yeah. This is just. I mean, it's not surprising because people are idiots, so you just kind of have to deal with that. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, guys, just just don't play the game. Like, what are you getting out of this for the fact that it's just hurting the user score? And I've never looked at a user score to be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is something I should get or
I've
not. So it's just like,
always felt that user scores were the dumbest part of any review metric system. While I understand that it is a good aggregate of the audience's ideas, more often than not, most of that audience doesn't have the same breadth of knowledge, access, or skill of review than traditional reviews. So most user reviews are just like, it's a vibe. I get a vibe with the two. I can't tell you why it's a two. It's just a vibe.
I don't like that cover. 1 out of 2. Or 1 out of 5. Like, what the hell? Yeah.
I think user reviews in a small vacuum make sense. like user reviews amongst a small group of people, that makes sense. That's you gauging the vibe of everyone around you. That makes sense. But as a major aggregate, that's like it's weird to me.
Yeah. I'm only looking at user reviews if I'm buying food or I'm getting a service. Okay, that's it. Like other than that, I don't need it.
Anywho, DJ.
Yeah. All right. So now that we've moved past that and people just being terrible, hey, you're not terrible, we hope. What you can do is continue not being terrible by I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, hit the notification bell. If you don't do these things, I'm not name calling, okay? I'm not name calling, but
He's
saying,
calling.
what you can also do, and this will definitely not make you terrible. You can leave us a review by going to the podcast service you're using or Apple Podcasts, because either way, they work for us. And leave us a review. It doesn't have to be 5-star, but again, just saying. Just saying. So yeah, do that. Help us out. We appreciate it. All right, let's get back to the show, Avery.
Okay, so this is something that's an addendum to a story we talked about last week and comes with another story that we're going to be talking about shortly afterwards. But here's a story from Kotaku. This is from Ethan Gotch. PS5 sales are unstoppable, and Sony thinks it's just a start. So essentially, we talked about last week the sort of absurd sales numbers that Sony saw last month, where it's like, hey, we sold over 360% more year over year of the PS5 than we did beforehand. And I believe the actual number was somewhere around 600,000 in a single month. Well, after all that tabulation, we get Sony announcing in a earnings call, I guess, that, hey, the PS5 has sold 38 million units since launch. It is on track to surpass the PS4, and all reports are stating that it is not stopping anytime soon. And this is without having to release a refresh of the console, a next gen upgrade of the console. This is just the base 2 PS5s selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I first saw this or I first heard this, I was thinking like, what? Why did it jump? Like, why did it jump so high? It's like out of nowhere, because like there wasn't really a big PS game to drop since Horizon, right? No,
This is still my speculation, but I think a lot of people are just buying it in anticipation for Final Fantasy, as well as
That's
just
a good
having money
point.
available finally.
Yeah, I was just gonna get at the fact that I think with COVID and how slim the supplies was for the PS5, like people just kind of got accustomed to waiting for like a wide selection of games to play, and like now that you have it, like it's like, okay, well now it's time for me to get this console, and like I guess a lot of people had that same mindset. But the idea of waiting for Final Fantasy 16, like I think that's actually probably more a part of that. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's just funny because a lot of people feel like there are no quote unquote next gen games worthy of purchasing a PS5 for, because a lot of it you could still get on the PS4.
Yeah.
Minus Ratchet and Clank Returnal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also forgot like Hogwarts Legacy. Like that was a crazy thing. So that's
multi-platform.
Yeah, but like it's multi-platform, but a lot of that stuff is on PlayStation 5. Because
when I say multi-platform, I'm saying that the person if you're waiting for next gen to buy a PlayStation 5 for Hogwarts, a game you can play on any.
No. Though that it was
PS4 and
just
Xbox
released.
One is coming out soon.
Yeah, they haven't released
those
yet.
are announced. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So people just got it for the new console.
Yeah,
probably got the new console plus.
Unless I'm giving credit to Sony for doing the marketing deal and convincing people that it's a PS5 game when it's not. I'm of the mindset that if you're a person waiting for next gen for Hogwarts, the PlayStation 5 isn't necessarily what I would be waiting for necessarily. I'm just saying if I'm after looking at this for a while, I just think it's the breadth of games that Sony has put out over the last 2-3 years of the life cycle that has convinced people that this is what I need to invest in. Not necessarily a single game.
I think both things can be true though. I think like you can think like because like there's a lot of like Harry Potter fans out there, but like you can be like, oh my god, this game looks great, and it's like, all right, well, I can either get a PS5 or I can get an Xbox Series X, and you look at the games, and you're like, all right, well, there's actually more games on PS5 that I'm interested in versus like Game Pass, so that could lead people to get PS5 over Xbox, or vice versa. But yeah,
I'm not saying they're not mutually exclusive. I'm just saying one of them with data that we know in terms of what power exclusives have makes more sense to be the driving factor than just pinning everything at this had 600,000 in a month because of this one game. More so, this had 600,000 in a month because of the marketing that Sony's put into their catalog over now with all these games coming forward. Plus, there's that whole we no longer have supply has met demand, and demand was already insane. So now that the font has been untapped, it's just a flood. Okay, so this story goes in tandem with another story from Kotaku.com. This is from Ethan Gotch. Microsoft is struggling to sell Xboxes again. So both of these two companies have had major financial calls, and we sort of revealed a lot of financial information about how they're doing. A weird anecdote about the PlayStation thing is that less people were buying PlayStation 5 games, but because they raised the price $10, they're actually making more money. So, Opa.
Well,
I mean, they sat there and did the math.
Wasn't is Sony expecting for profits to slip over the next quarter? I saw that story too running around.
I don't necessarily remember seeing that story, but I did remember seeing anecdotally that the PlayStation 5 was like, hey, we're selling less, we're actually selling less units, but because of the $10 difference, we're actually making more money off of all the units. So there's that. But in regards to the Xbox, I only bring that up because Xbox has reported, they're still reporting profits as a whole in terms of this is the best year for Xbox year over year over year. But then when you break down those profits, I think they've only saw a 6% or so increase in terms of like software and services. And then the most interesting and why this headline comes from is the fact that there is from a hardware standpoint, a 30 to 40% drop.
Mm-hmm.
And Xbox is still in the midst of not giving us any actual information, so we can't really infer what these sales numbers of the Xbox Series going forward is. But I say this, it is an interesting place to be the Xbox currently.
I think there's a tug of war in terms of console supply on the Microsoft side because a lot of these devices are being used on xCloud, or like you're basically, when you use that xCloud service, you're using a Microsoft device, in Idaho or Singapore or whatever server farm they have to play said game. And I think I want to put the theory to test. I wanted to test to see is demand being outstripped. I don't think demand's being outstripped, but I don't think there is a concerted amount of energy on Xbox's side to have the consoles more readily available for people to purchase. I think PlayStation has done more of an effort to make sure consoles were more readily available, but Microsoft is like dealing with two uses of that hardware. There's one for the home itself with the actual device, and other for streaming. So that could be an impact on these sales.
Without seeing the strength of xCloud and its effect on their entire ecosystem, it's hard to really gauge if that is the
It's a hypothesis.
Yeah, it's a hypothesis. Mm-hmm. The other hypothesis is that the other hypothesis I'm thinking is that as powerful as a marketing tool that Game Pass is, it has, for the most part, hit its not plateau, but it's sort of like Elden Ring stats have a high cap and a low cap. The high cap is exponential. The low cap is incremental. It's an incremental thing where Game Pass is still going to keep growing because of its value, but it's no longer going to be growing at a colossal rate that
there are economic terms, and I know what you're saying, Avery.
Yeah.
It's like
Like,
some type of curve,
Yeah.
type of curve.
Because a big thing that Paul Tassi from the Forbes pointed out is that Xbox hasn't even told us the next milestone for Game Pass since they talked about its last milestone for Game Pass over a year ago, which is indicating that it's sort of slowed down tremendously in a way that in their current position they don't want to announce in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at this and I'm not really surprised because mainly of two things. Like, I mean, the simplest answer is like, well, there's just no real big Xbox game to play right now. So why would you buy why would you spend the money now versus just waiting until something big comes? Like for a lot of people, Redfall. So when Redfall comes out, maybe that affects the numbers.
A lot of people in italics.
Yeah. But like, I think this gets into the second thing that I want to say is that like
italics.
Yeah, I think this gets to the second thing is like at the same time, Microsoft isn't really marketing for people to buy the Xbox Series X. It's more so to get Game Pass. So,
every video game commercial I see on YouTube TV, or internet is
Game
like
Pass.
Power to the players.
Yeah. Hey, look, you got a tablet? Is that a Stone tablet? Cool. Get Game Pass on there. Like it works. And that, to me, that has an effect in terms of like, all right, well, if I don't have to spend money on a console, I can just play Game Pass with xCloud through my phone or my tablet. Yeah, I'm gonna just do that.
PS5 and play Game Pass on my phone or tablet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like
cannibalization the cannibalization of users of different platforms within the service itself is eating its own ass. It's crazy.
There you go. It's like that snake.
Well,
right?
And that brings in the whole what are the current Game Pass numbers with that as something that we know going forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And the fact that they are not sharing that is also worrying because it's like, okay, well, if you're marketing for Game Pass, then that should be the thing that you put forward.
That right there is a symptom of not just Xbox but Microsoft's mentality when it comes to things. Like they do like these crazy ass 10-year plans, to which like they're during the process of what's going through, they're very cagey about shit. Microsoft is very cagey about stuff. But you'll find out in 10 years. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm gonna be 40.
And that is that was our last story.
Okay. Well, before we wrap this little meal up to a little bow and deliver it to you on
sir.
Let us talk about the games we have been playing. So as many of you know, a little game called Star Wars Jedi Survivor released, and a good portion of us is playing through this game. There has been some news about the game and its performance, but actually, you know what? Let's just get into it. Jordan, you as the diehard Star Wars fan,
a fan of pain.
Oh no. How you enjoying this game? Like, give us the rundown.
I mean, this is day 2 of this game being released, or like day 3 technically. I get it. When it comes to performance issues, the more I played it, the more it became evident that there was some cutting corners here. There was a story earlier this week that was talking about how Respawn and their hierarchy was like, we're about success theory. You know what I mean? We're alphas out here. We're not afraid to fail. I'm like, motherfucker.
I have 18 seasons of Apex Legends. The last season being one where there's absolutely no sound. Where that's a worrying statement.
So
sound.
It's like. I get it, but at the same time, we're buying your shit, and we want it to work. And as I'm entering hour 5, I want to put in, because I've been kind of tired recently, but hour 5, the more I play, the more weird bugs I get. I am currently playing in quality mode, which is 30 frames, and yeah, fucking notice it. I pray for Redfall. You notice that shit, but because like I was thinking to myself, when it comes to this FPS stuff, it's like if you can hold it, if you hold a 30, if you hold a 60, and you hold a 120, the issues occur when there's dips. When it goes from 30 to 20, when it goes from 60 to 50, 120 to 100, you feel that stutter.
You do.
And because it's not a solid 30, I mean, I'm fine with being 30 if you can hold it. I don't feel like this is a solid 30 right here. I'm seeing dips here and there. I do like that we are not doing the Metroidvania type. I'm like, well, it is a Metroidvania type thing, but in terms of them, the cow resetting his powers. So I just finished playing Fallen Order a couple weeks ago. All those powers that were added in that game, you start off with, so you have a little bit of fun. Enemies are getting more and more elaborate. They're throwing more enemies at you, which is what they didn't do in the last game as much. There is a fuck you enemy in the first 4 hours of it. I want to say fuck you enemy. It's like, yeah, you can try it, but fuck you. You're going to be here for a good 2 hours trying to beat this guy thing. And
he's talking about the Rancor.
No, I beat the Rancor. There's another one.
Are you talking about the frog?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I wanted DJ to find out by himself if London right next to him.
If you were here in our pre-show, me and D had already discussed what you're talking about.
Okay.
Because I haven't got to it already.
Yeah. Well, the son of that bastard of the first game is here, and I was at the 20th attempt. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to talk to this motherfucker, so I'm gonna be back later. But it's hard because this game has a good amount of production, but not that much in terms of follow through. You feel the bombasticness of playing this as if it was a movie, but the performance issues as I continue to play it have become more and more evident, and if they continue, could potentially sour my experience. I'm enjoying it right now. I love killing people in fun, awesome ways. Good job with the dismember at this time, guys. But we'll see. We'll see how it happens when I finally beat it.
Okay. So I'll go. I'm also playing this game. I am Jordan. To your 5 hours, I'm probably maybe between 3 and 4 hours in.
Did you beat Ogoboto's bastard child yet?
Ogoboto's bastard child. I don't even know what that.
Oh, I mean, I go Boto. What's his name, Avery? Ogoboto.
You're talking about the frog. He hasn't gotten to it yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't gotten to the frog. Yeah, I've just opened up to the forest array. If that.
Oh, okay. Oh, you decided to walk up. You walked by him.
Oh, okay. Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know where.
Adventure.
I think DJ has walked straight down the linear path of this game instead of exploring its extremities.
Yes. So to get into my experience, I'm playing on PS5. I'm playing on performance mode. So I start the game at 60, and then we'll see what happens there. Basically. So I've had a bunch of hitches and like stutters and stuff. I really haven't had any game-breaking bugs. Like I haven't had any crashes. Again, I'm only like 3.5 hours in. I've seen a lot of pop in. I've seen a lot of pop out. I'm having a good time with the game. I think this game came out at a good time for me, where I kind of want this kind of like third-person action adventure kind of thing. I think the combat it's better than Fallen Order. The combat is definitely better than Fallen Order. I do have my hiccups with it. I think the animation is because the way that the combat works is the engine prioritizes animation over your button presses. So if you do a attack and you go to roll, you have to wait for the attack to finish, and then you can't not roll. You can't roll. You can dash. So that gets me in trouble a lot of times because I am doing an attack, but I might press square twice, and then I want to roll. So I'm doing both attacks, and by the time I finish the second attack, I get hit with the enemy's attack, because also the enemies have armor in a way where they will attack while you're hitting them, and it's kind of like, okay, one, I'm hitting you with a lightsaber. So what is that about? So
Well,
it's stuff like
you're talking about like that white bar under their health bar. That's like their.
No, he's not talking
defense.
about that. He's not talking about that. He's specifically talking about sort of the super armor, where the enemy will be in an animation and still follow through with the animation, even if you hit them during the animation.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I like the idea of the parrying in this game, but I think it doesn't, for me, it doesn't necessarily work how I would imagine a parry would work in terms of like, again, you go to a parry attack and you parry one attack, but then they follow up with the second attack. And it's just like, when you parry someone, you break their stance generally.
Mhm.
So in my mind, that's how that should work, and they should stop attacking for you to attack them. But it doesn't work like that in this game. So those are things that you just kind of have to consider while you're playing the game to be able to play the game essentially. Um, in terms of them throwing a bunch of people at you, I would like it if I didn't have the issues that I just explained, where you are trying to do an attack, and like for example, there is a droid all the way in the background that's shooting at you. You see the beam coming at you, but you can't block it because you are in the middle of an attack. So you end up getting like comboed by the things that are around you, and it's just kind of frustrating. So overall, like I am enjoying my time in this game, but I am finding little things like that frustrating on top of the performance issues. And it's it's really hard to I think, like, I need more time to play with this to unlock different perks, to unlock, like, more of my tree, to, do different things, because I hear that, once you progress through the game, like, you get abilities and, like, it all feels good together, and I feel like even though um we have, what's his name? Cal?
Cal
Cal
Kestis.
Kestis?
There you go.
Oh, yes, sir.
Even though we have Cal right now, he's still not he's complete from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 1, but he's not complete in this game. So to me, he feels a little lacking because like I can't do anything with a person that is like far away, like more than 20 feet away from me. Even the force pull doesn't, I have my issues with that too. But yeah, overall, I'm having an okay time with this game. I'm going to, play it and get as far as I can before I rage quit. I don't think that will happen. Although I haven't fought this frog. I gotta get the frog hands to see, or I guess I should say frog legs. I should get the frog legs to see how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Let's ask the real questions. How much time did you spend fucking with the controls?
Funny enough, about like 10 minutes. About 10 minutes. Not too much. Not too much, I switched like my blocking and my L1 and R1. I switched those because I just, it's me. It's me, It's what I do.
We know.
Avery.
Yes, I am also playing this game. If anyone's paid attention to my previous time with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I thought that was a mid-game. I thought as a Souls game, it was not great. I thought as a Star Wars game, it was pretty good. I thought its ending was one of the most lackluster things for me personally that I've ever played in terms of, oh, cool. So this is how it ends? Okay. I thought navigating it around it was not great. And especially when I went, like, here's the thing. I know my true feelings for a game come out when I've platinumed it. When I've spent the time to sit there and see it 100%. And it was one of those games I sat down to platinum and I'm like, I hate this. This is just not fun. And that just accentuated things about this. So I went into this game more or less being like, I'm at a neutral position. I started playing this game and I'm like, okay, not enough about this game has dramatically changed, from my opinion, to really dramatically change based on the previous one. The animations in this game are still janky and hard to read. And as someone who plays a lot of Souls games, it's not fun to just like have, to DJ's point about button presses and animations, be like, oh, if I double hit square for an attack in a Souls game, if I wanted to dodge before that second attack had gone through, I would just dodge it. And I'm locked into these weird animations that make Cal feel not fun to play, and then enemies' animations are also janky and weird and hard to parse as well. So sometimes the enemy will do a jump, but it's the same animation of them doing a like jump, like a full forward, and every enemy has like 3 unblockable attacks. It is annoying. I'm generally not having fun in terms of its combat, and then you add into, I was not one complaining about the linear nature of the game's levels. I was just complaining about the navigation of them, and they decided to make big open field areas for this game, and it's immediately annoying. I'm not gonna say it's not annoying. It's immediately what I did not want. I
wonder if that's going to translate to other planets too. I mean, like there's going to be a diversity here.
Well, that's actually why I progressed the story, because I was like, okay, I need a mount. Like I have the stable, I need a mount, because like walking from A to B, or I guess jogging from A to B, is just like, this is taking forever. Like Cal is not a Olympic runner. Like he's doing his best, but it's just like
It's
I
not
need
even,
something with.
yeah. For me, it's not even the
better.
walking around. Like I'm fine with the walking around. It's just the breadth of the area. I just think is too much. And my big problem with the last game's levels design was that you had to keep going back to the same locations over and over and over again. And I did like, okay, we're back on Dathomir. Okay, there's the third time you've had to walk through this area to unlock this next area. And because they didn't have a good fast travel, it's just like it just expanded upon that. What I wanted was, okay, take those classic level designs, make them smaller, and do 10 of them. Not 4, 10 of them. And what it looks like is they're fundamentally going to keep the same level design philosophy in terms of the amount of levels, but they're just going to be big and expansive and things like that. And if you like that, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. If you're going to say something else, Avery?
You continue.
Okay. There's one last nitpick that like completely frustrated me, and I still don't necessarily know how it works. How do you use the beacons in the map? Have either of you tried to use the beacons in the map?
Are you talking about the meditation points?
Waypoints?
No. So like if you like to like put like a way marker.
Oh, you mean like with the
waypoint.
goggles?
You can only look at them in your BD.
Yeah. Yeah, literally looking at BD.
Okay.
So you have
Like-
to hit down on the control. You have to hit down on the. You have to hold down the controller, open up the BD mode, and then you'll see all the beacons that you put on the map.
Yeah.
And you can remove them. You can remove beacons in the map menu, but I don't think you can add beacons in the map menu, which is kind of
And then on top of that,
you can add beacons in the map menu.
you can.
Yeah. That's what I was doing, but like the fact that it doesn't just show on your map, like
that's fucking stupid. You gotta look at BB to find it.
I feel like
there's
you should
a
be
button
able
press.
to.
There's a button press that interrupts you interacting with the game's map in navigation.
Yeah, and like I feel like even when I was trying to put down markers with BD, I was putting down markers, but it wasn't putting it in the thing that I was looking at. It was putting like right in front of me. And like I stopped. I was like, wait, and I looked at the map and it had like 3 markers on me, and I was just like, what the hell is this? Like, BD, what are you doing? It's one of those things where like I think someone said it. I don't know who said it, but like this game needed another like 3 months in the oven before it came out. Like there was no reason that it should have came out in the state that it did. Like, I mean, really and truly, this could have came out after Breath of the Wild and been fine. This is a Star Wars game. People are going to buy this regardless. Like there was no reason for this to be rushed out.
The theory from Stella from IGN was, like they had cuts to their QA team, and it's like, were these QA was feedback being provided to the developers to like?
As far as I'm aware of when those cuts happened, this game would have been already under like on this path to its release date. This is not like QA team like, oh, we lost our QA team a year into its like a year before it was release date. This was like, I think they lost their QA team like 2 months ago.
Oh, that's kind of in the
production
process.
The day 1 patch or something like that. If it was 2 months ago.
But
it probably would go like a month ago.
Like the level of like when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking like when I'm thinking about the QA process, as far as I'm aware of it, I'm thinking that they would be identifying small individual bugs and not more gameplay issues that I'm having with that game.
Oh, what that you're having,
yeah. But to add something, I'm playing this in quality mode as well. As of yet, I have seen no problems with this game. I'm totally fine. I'm also a person who doesn't give a shit about frame drops or anything like that. As long as it doesn't drop to like from 30 to 10, I'm fine. So like I'm playing this game, I guess 30 frames per second, and I'm totally fine with this as the gameplay experience. This is one of those games where it's probably going. that I have no like, and from a story standpoint, I'm not like fiending for what's the next stop in this story. So it's not even like grabbing me there. So this is probably a game that if I just get bored, I'm just probably going to quietly drop off of and not really talk about going forward. It depends on, I'm going to give it a couple more nights in terms of like sitting down to play it. And if it doesn't grab me in the next couple of nights, I'm probably just going to put it on my back burner and find something else to play.
And you'll have something else to play. Fucking Zelda's coming out. You know, like there's a lot of. I mean, like this. I mean, well, Redfall is in a pretty precarious state right now, sandwiched between Survivor and Zelda. But there's a lot of compo right now, and you know, as a Star Wars fiend, you know, I'm like, oh, fucking High Republic, oh, fucking New Order, But at the same time, you know, this is more Star Wars bullshit. I told you how pissed off I am about the time travel nonsense going on in that fucking universe, and I'm pretty sure it's going to touch on it. I see the symbols. They're going to touch on time travel, and I'm going to be fucking mad.
In this game, right?
That's the big play from Star Wars right now. Fucking time travel. And it's annoying. It's in all the books.
I've been adamant that my two least favorite storytelling devices are time travel and multiversal travel. So if it pulls this shit without actually doing the work to make it matter, I will be pissed.
Yeah, no, you should be. It's dumb. Like this is this is not Star Trek.
Before we end this, I like to say that like even though I am sounding negative on the game, I am coming at it from of like I wish this stuff was better. Like overall, I am having a good time playing this game. Like I got far, I guess, quote unquote, far enough into the story where I'm just like, okay, you know what? I want to see what happens next. Like the start of it was really cool. The kind of like heisting that you're doing, like it's awesome. I just want to say like R.I.P. Bravo.
Way too long for like for a prologue. Goes on way too long.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
I was like, yo, where's the title screen? What the fuck?
But R.I.P. Bravo for doing all that he could with a shape up like that. My man hair looked like default number 2.
Like, the character models in this game are bad.
Yeah,
like they didn't like that was one of my complaints of the last game, that like every character who wasn't Cal Kestis and Mireen looked weird. And this game, especially with the NPCs, is if I look to you and like, oh, you're like an Unreal copy from the Unreal Store, copy and paste. It's like,
like
Avery,
you're absolutely right with that.
There's like, many instances to which I'm going, this person's giving NPC right now. They're giving NPC.
Like especially unless it's like a Star Wars alien, like a Twi'lek or something. Like they just even then the Twi'leks just look like
humans with tails.
Yeah. And I will say it's worse for me in particular because I'm coming from Horizon into this, and it's just like I can literally see the triangles on your face, my guy. Like, what is happening? So yeah, you know, we will have more on Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Some of us, maybe not all of us, you know, depending on how it goes. So that's it. That's it.
The moment someone says the world between worlds, uninstall. The moment it's uttered, I'm getting the fuck out.
I totally forgot about that Rebels time travel bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, and look at the Ahsoka fucking you know, picture art or whatever. It's yes, world between worlds, time travel, all the let's stop.
It's gonna be exciting, guys. It's gonna be exciting. I hope you all have your seatbelts ready.
I need to keep an eye on my blood pressure. Because that shit pisses me off.
Okay. Sean, you got anything you want to say before we end this?
Y'all some nerds.
You know what? That's consistent with Sean. Sean has been in the DMZ like knee waist and
I've been in the trenches, niggas.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to do that tonight because I need a break from Star Wars.
One problem always.
All right. Well, this has been an episode of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget, It's a stretch. Stretching important. Also, rate and review us on your favorite podcast services because we need those reviews. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell because we need that like and that subscription because it makes us feel good. It's like a little tickle in our belly. Tickle in our belly, You know what I mean? Yeah, you can join Discord if you want. You should. It's a great time. You go to pressx2start.com/discord and I'll take you there. Other than that, you be safe, play games, wash your hands, eat, drink water, especially if you are dealing with high blood pressure. That's important.
Mhm.
Just be real. Be real. Be real. Be a real good person. I don't know, man. Like, just bye. Just